Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready? Y'all ready for
20?
Yeah! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MangaPod Book Club panel at Anime Expo 2015. Woo! So happy you guys were here. You guys came.
On the 4th of July.
On the 4th of July, no less. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. If you guys do not, if you just saw HappiLeeErin in the program guide and was like, oh, I'll go check out HappiLeeErin, and now you're confused because I'm saying it's the MangaPod panel. You are in the right spot. We just decided to do, instead of me doing a panel by myself, I wanted to bring on my lovely co-host for the podcast that I do on my channel called MangaPod. This is our 4th co-host at the end down there. He is here, we promise.
So handsome.
So handsome, isn't he? So
10 out of 10.
But I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about anime and mangas. I review, do first impressions, and do vloggy type content. And MangaPod is a weekly podcast in which we all get together with a guest and we talk about all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. So yeah, my 2 co-hosts, introduce yourselves. We'll have him go last.
Yoku can go last.
He's shy, so.
Hi guys, I'm Dodger from youtube.com/PressStartToContinue. I play visual novels and dating sims, and I am pretty much always on MangaPod, so.
Yeah.
My name is Lou, and I'm from Sitting by the Window Anime Reviews, and I just talk about weeb trash, and that's my life.
It's about right.
It is about right.
And then, hang on. What's up, guys? Yokurama here. That is my Yoku impression. It was really bad. But he is our 4th co-host. He unfortunately could not make the expo, but we decided to make sure he was here in person. And also, is it what time? Can we make it?
Yes, you can access my camera Skype.
Also, we decided to try and Skype him in, just so you can all say hi, and he can say hi to you guys. So we're going to see if it works.
You gotta
Usually,
answer.
MangaPod is rife with technical difficulties, so if this doesn't work right away, it won't be a surprise. So
That's pretty much par for the course at this point.
I'll just consistently try to call him throughout.
While we're waiting for him to answer, like the meaning he's not doing it, we will kind of give you a rundown for what we're going to do for this panel. We'll just kind of give you a short, history of the podcast, and then we'll give our favorite moments, and then we'll do a really fast 3-question trivia, MangaPod trivia, because we have 3 manga to give away up here that we haven't read on MangaPod yet, but we will probably be reading in the future. And so it'll just be 3 questions about MangaPod that you guys must know. You obviously know it. I know you know everything.
You can totally cheat up online.
He said, when are you going to call me? And I said, right now. And then he said, now? In all caps, but didn't answer
the questions.
Anyway, continue.
And then we'll do a Q&A for the last however much time we have left. So, to give you a just quick little history of the podcast, we started doing MangaPod in 2012?
Was it that long ago?
Hold on. 2013. I think it was. I'm trying to remember what color my hair was.
I think it was blonde.
I think it was No, I was brown, because in the thumbnail for the first one, I have brown hair.
Oh.
I think it was 13. Yeah, it was 2013 is when we did our first one. And Dodger actually came up with the idea, because she was like, nobody does a manga podcast online anywhere. And so she reached out to me, because at the time I was doing anime manga. You didn't have too much weeb trash on your channel yet.
Yeah, my channel hadn't fully succumbed to the power of weeb trash.
And so I was like, yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea. Will you do it with me? She's like, yes, I'll do it with you. And so I had met Daza, who was originally the 4th co-host. I had met him on another podcast previous, and so I knew him and Yoku pretty well from the anime community, but I didn't know too many other people. So I was like, hey, you guys want to do... No, Yoku! Yoku, come back! No!
Always falling over. I mean, come on, it's Yoku.
It's so symbolic of what's happening on my phone.
He keeps dropping the call.
I'm just going to hold it like this.
Yeah, just hold it.
It's so beautiful.
So pretty. So then I was like, hey, do you guys want to come and do this podcast? And they were totally down, and we figured out a time, and then we just decided to dive in and do it. And I almost gave away the answer to one of our trivia questions right there, so never mind on that. But yeah, and now we are at episode 97. Whoa. I believe we just did episode 97 this past week, where we talked about what did we talk about?
Hunter X
Hunter, Hunter!
Hunter, Hunter,
We
yo.
talked about Hunter, Hunter.
So good.
But yeah, so we've done all sorts of different manga. We love doing any sort of genre, and like we've been having a lot of guests come on from the anime community, which has just been absolutely amazing, and it's been so much fun. And then Lou came in January of this year and joined us after Daza parted ways, and so he's been part of our family now too, and it's just, we love each other and have so much fun doing it, and we are incredibly supportive of all of you guys for watching every week, and if you can't catch it live, watching it on the VODs, it's just so awesome to see you guys come in.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys so much for watching
the most unprofessional manga podcast ever. What was the next thing we were going to do? Did you guys have anything you wanted to add to the history of MangaPod?
There was a story I was going to tell, but I got so distracted with wrestling with Yoku.
That's our
On
life.
Skype.
That's our life. Was it about a manga that we read? Was it about something?
I'm not sure.
Sounds like you're snoring. Is it? That's boring.
No, I was snarling with myself. Sorry.
All right, so we can do, should we just do MangaPod trivia? Okay.
Yeah, we could go into that.
Let's do it.
We
Okay.
were going to do favorite moments, though, as well.
Yeah. Okay, favorite moments.
But
Anybody wanna go?
our favorite moments can't spoil
Don't worry.
trivia questions.
Mine won't.
Okay.
I have a ton of favorite moments. It's because we've done the podcast and we've done it, like, there's been a few times where we've had to take breaks, and so we haven't been able to do it every single week since. But we've been pretty consistent about having it every week. Like I said, we've done 97 episodes. So there's a lot of memories in there, and they usually go for about an hour to an hour and a half. Unless it's Mad Guy MangaPod, and we have all sorts of technical difficulties, and it's 30 minutes of us being like, wow, how do we, what do we do? But
We just doubled the frame rate on that one.
I know, we just made it real quick. One of my favorite moments is incestual Titan sex. For you guys who don't know anything about MangaPod, here's that's how professional we are. We were doing Attack on Titan, and we were a few 9 volumes in, I think at that point, we were talking about, and Dodger was like, how do Titans procreate? And then it became a thing where we just talked about how Titans were incestuous and
just
banged all the
really
time,
fast.
and it just devolved really quickly. But then it just became a thing where people, whenever they saw MangaPod, they would be like, incestual Titan sex! And we're like, yeah!
So much, probably the most fan art that we got was of, Titans with, their butts touching.
Yeah, we came up with that Titan, the way they procreate was that they booty touch.
Yeah, their
And
booties
it
just,
would go this.
gently, Yeah, it was good.
So weird.
It was good stuff.
Super weird. What about you guys?
Oh, the moment that I thought of is probably not appropriate.
Oh. Oh my God, you have to tell him.
Okay, so
Listen, he didn't answer, so he gets.
he didn't answer, so I'm throwing him under the bus. So there was a moment on MangaPod where Yoku was trying. I think he was trying to defend Gantz because he wasn't there.
We were
for the
talking
Gantz
about
one.
Berserk.
Were we talking about?
We were talking about Berserk, and sometimes if we read more mature manga, we like to be like, hey, mature themes in this.
By the way,
trigger
mature
warnings
scenes,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
And then Yoku, when Aaron was trying to give a warning, Yoku goes, yeah, if you're not into rape, maybe don't read this. And we were like, if you're not into rape, that's how you're going to put this right now?
the best part was that he was the last to go to recommend it. And so all of us have been like, we love this. We think you need to read this. And so then he's like, yeah, if you're not into rape, you won't like it. And we're like, how does that make us?
It was the weirdest thing. We gave him poop for that for weeks.
Yokorama, I'm
do it
so
to this
sad
day.
he's not here, but Yokorama has some of the best one-liners.
Yeah.
And then the look on his face after he says them is just he does not know why he spoke. One of my other favorite moments is we were talking about Siren. Has anybody read Siren at all?
Yeah.
We were talking about the manga Siren, which was awesome, and we were talking about the different fights in it. And I think Daza brought up one, and Yoka goes, no, that one wasn't hard. That was easy. That was like a piece of cheesecake. It was just standing there. And Brooke and I were like, What?
It was a piece of cheesecake. It was just standing there.
The thing is, you guys don't understand. Yoku is a master of analogies.
Sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Mine, honestly, I was a mod before I joined the podcast.
That's a good.
I was a mod for several months, and I just put a lot of my time into the podcast. So my favorite, honestly, is my first episode on, because I was slated to be a guest in November, and just out of nowhere, I was approached to join the podcast. So that for me, honestly, as cheesy as it sounds, is my favorite moment.
Aww. Yeah.
I think you've been an amazing addition to the podcast.
I think so.
I'd like to say that in
Yes.
front of friends and family at this
You've
beautiful
been
wedding.
absolutely awesome. Yes. Were you gonna say? Did you have
I
a?
was just gonna say my other favorite thing that happened consistently was every time we called shonen a genre. Daza would be like, "It's not a genre; it's a demographic." Like, got so angry, and I've brought that up multiple times since then. Like,
There was a few times where something happened, and I was just like, you know what I think? Shonen is a genre, and then he would just like.
yeah, it would always
off.
be when we were like deviating in a certain way, where we were like, "How do we derail this again?" And then it would just be like, "I know what to do." Just be like, Daza, how do you feel about the shonen genre? It's not a genre. It's a demographic.
There was also the that's not math thing that happened consistently. There was a moment, and again, Siren was a great manga pod, can I just say? And I'm really sad we haven't read more of it. But there was a moment in Siren where we were talking about time, and I went, that's not math. When I meant to say that's not the right math, and then it just became a thing where if anytime we messed up dates on the schedule, we would just go back and edit it and be like, this wasn't supposed to be here, this isn't math, la 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 la. We just
pretty much every time we put our schedule up, there's just like so much on there that is not supposed to be on there. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yoku
Is he
just
here?
responded to me. I'm so excited.
Not, we can move on to our manga pod trivia.
Yokorama, answer me.
Yoku. Answer
Yoku.
the call, Yoku. Answer the call.
I'm gonna not talk on Skype.
Yoku.
Yokorama not talk. Not doing it.
Yoku. Why would he respond if he's not there?
What a dummy. We'll do trivia. Let's do trivia.
Okay. I'm going
So,
to trivia.
for MangaPod trivia, what we're gonna do is like I said, we have these 3 manga. We're going to ask 3 questions about MangaPod. Don't shout the answers.
Please put your hands
but just
up.
silently raise your hand, and whoever raises their hand first.
We'll try to keep a good eye.
Yeah, we'll try to keep a guide. We'll run Mike over to you and have you say the answer, and then if you get it right, you get a manga.
You get a manga.
You get a mangas. All right. So, first question is just throw it. It's like, give up, Yoku. First question is, what was the very first manga that we read on MangaPod? That dude. Yeah. Yeah. Which one you want?
Hikaru no Go, Dead Man Wonderland.
Or House.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh no.
That's gonna be on the audio. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
He said the calls aren't going through to him, so that's
Oh, that's sad.
He was like, I've been sitting here. Why don't you call me? I'm like, I'm calling you. Anyways, next question.
Next question is, what was the manga that Dodger was a huge rotten bacon butt for? And rotten bacon butt is our term for people who spoil things, because we are hardcore on spoilers.
I spoiled something huge.
Real big, and it was the entirety of the manga. Does anybody know? Starts with an E. Anybody? Nobody?
No one knows. Oh my
It
goodness.
was a major character death. Yeah. Does anybody have a guess? Nope.
Nobody's got it. Should we tell you? It's Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I ruined that manga because I thought we were supposed to read much further than we were.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what about that time when that person died? And we were like,
We were like, literally,
Ruined it.
I think it was me, Daz, and Yoku, but all of our eyes went,
Yeah.
like,
They just
no.
stared at me.
And there
I
was
went,
no way to backtrack it and try and cover it up, and then everyone in chat was just freaking out. They're like, what? What? So let's see. Nobody knew that one.
No one knew that one.
They might not know this one then, but what was our lowest rated MangaPod? Like the manga that we gave the lowest rating for?
You can guess.
You can guess.
You don't have to be right. You can take a swing at it.
Take a swing. Yeah. Number 2. No. Oh, I get what. Hang on, I want him to have a manga because that was really good fun. No, not the number rating.
The actual manga that we gave a really low score to.
Yeah?
No.
Oh, that is a good guess, though.
It wasn't that, though.
It wasn't. That was one of the, like, more medium, lukewarm we had towards
It was.
the manga,
It was one where, like, yeah, we were like creeped out and like kind of felt like it was in a good way, but at the same time we're like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, yeah. So
Hakunohana was.
Yeah, we were pretty lukewarm on that one for sure.
There was one that both Dodge and I the entire time were like, why is this so popular? Why did so many people tell us to read this? We hate this. It's so creepy and rapey and not very good.
Yeah, we really
it starts
didn't
with
like
a G. If anybody, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Gantz.
It was Gantz.
Sorry to any Gantz fans out there. We had very
Yoku. Yeah, Yoku
liked it.
Yoku wasn't there for that MangaPod. It was he wasn't there to like defend it at all. And
But he's like, just read for 100 chapters. I swear, guys, it'll be good.
He pulled the same thing that people pull in the comment section where they're like, you didn't like this manga, but you didn't get to chapter 200. So
that's one of our favorite things to be like, guys, please. Where they just like they scold us for not reading 5,000 pages of it before giving an opinion. We're like, guys, no.
we do our best. The final question, we don't have a reward for this, but the final question that we were going to ask was, what word did Dakota completely destroy in a description reading on MangaPod?
I don't know if everybody's going to know it.
Man.
No. But there was, we did
This was
Horimiya.
like one of the best moments of MangaPod ever, and you should all go back and watch it.
Go and watch the Horimiya MangaPod because I wasn't there, but I made a point of going to watch it because I got texts from every single person.
Just watch the intro.
And so Dakota, who is a regular guest on MangaPod, he's absolutely awesome. What's his channel? D-Bar Anime Reviews. He came on. We have our guests. Whenever we have a guest, we ask them if they don't mind reading the description because we like to give a description for the manga that we read. That way, if people aren't if they don't want to be spoiled and they haven't read it, they can take their leave and then read it and then come back and watch us talk about it. And so for this one, Dakota was reading it and the line was like, "Whom are friends?" And he pronounced whom wom. He's like, "Whom are friends?"
He was like, this word, wom. I'm going to go with wom. And I was like,
such a
wait, I'm going to go
pretentious-
look at the description. And I read it, and I was like, whom? And his immediate response was, who spells it that way?
Literally everyone.
Literally everyone, Dakota. Everyone spells whom that way.
And so now it's just a running joke. Whenever we read a description and whom is in there, we go, whom.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and do Q&A.
Yeah.
Do some Q&A
Any
sessions.
Q&A if you want to make a
line right
Just
here.
line right down the middle.
Come and ask us
our
questions.
our lovely Brad
Any and all questions.
will hug your
please
face
come,
with
please
his
come
body.
And line up and stuff.
Should we just raise hands then?
What?
Do you want people to just raise hands, or do you want to
No,
line up?
line up in the
line up.
middle. Yeah.
Questions.
Questions. Come on, guys. Yeah.
Hi, this is my question.
Brad, do you have a question?
Whose butt do you like the most?
Hisoka's.
Hisoka.
It's the only correct answer.
It's the best.
It's an interesting question. Okay.
But accurate.
Okay. Anyways, my question to you would be, you guys all have YouTube channels and everything. What made you guys decide to get started or just jump into it without second guessing yourselves on the content that you were going to create?
Oh, I second guess myself
I know,
all
I
the
was
time.
like-
Oh, okay. Well,
I still like have major insecurities sometimes.
I mean,
with the stuff I'm making.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just whether or not you can sort of push through that and look at it objectively and be like, is this good? I think this is good. And sometimes when you spend a lot of time on something too, you're like, this isn't as funny to me anymore. I hope that this is funny, you know, things like that. But yeah, I think in those moments where you're just like, oh God, I'm the worst, you just have to sort of push through it and make it anyway, you know.
Yeah, I have recently actually hit like this wall of, oh man, am I a reviewer? Do I deserve to be in the anime community? Like it's just this like intense pressure that I've been putting on myself just to be like, oh man, I have to have this caliber of stuff, this caliber of videos. And so then that kind of makes me be like, I don't want to make a video because it makes me feel bad if I'm making a video and all of this. But I just realized I just need to like be okay with the content I'm making. Like if I'm going to make a video, I want to be happy with what I'm making. I don't want it to be something that other people are I don't want to make something just because other people are making it and that's what they do. Like I want to do the content that I do and I want to be proud of it. And so if that means making a video where I review a Kaoru magazine, I'm going to do it.
I like that video, by the way. As weird as that sounds.
For me,
That was just
what
funny.
got me into reviewing in general is just the desire to participate in the conversation. It's just, once you put your content out there, people will respond, whether it's good or bad, and from that, it's a learning experience. And over time, my channel personally has evolved, and I've changed the way that I present my content. For example, before, it was a lot of off-the-cuff content. Now it's very scripted. Everything is written very tight, and it's just a constant game of one-upping yourself every single time. And to accommodate, like, an example of something that I've done is I was on a one-a-week schedule. I've pushed it back to maybe one every 2 weeks or one a month, just because overall I've learned that quantity over quality, or quality over quantity, is what really matters in that. So
Yeah, it's something like, because I know I got into it because I was surrounded into YouTube actually, because I was surrounded by tons of creative people because I moved from Nebraska to LA to work at a YouTube production studio as a video editor, and I didn't have a channel at the time, and so I was like, man, all these people are making cool stuff. I want to make cool stuff. And then Dodger kind of was like, you love anime, you should just talk about animes. I was like, okay. And so I started reviewing it, and just going back and watching my first review and then my most recent review is so radically different. It's two different people. It's two incredibly different people. But yeah, after the first 2 or 3 reviews, I realized, man, doing the reviews actually made me love anime even more. And so I was like, this is what I should be doing. This is what I should be talking about, because it's something I have an incredible passion about, and I just absolutely love, and I could find something new to love about it every single video that I make. And so that's made it real easy not to be like, should I do anime stuff? But it's my home, it's my place.
Yeah.
It's among the animus.
And I do feel like, as a person who doesn't do reviews, I feel like doing reviews is really difficult in terms of second guessing yourself, because you are putting like your opinion, like it's just straight up like I think this is good, I think this is bad, you know, and you're always going to wind up with a lot of people coming to you and being like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of like crush the voice of everybody else and be like, how do I actually feel about this content? Like, if I'm going to review it, how do I legitimately feel about it? Because that's what people want to hear in my video. They don't want to hear what what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
So.
And that's also something too that I've taken, because when I first started making videos, like, having an opinion was real hard for me, because I wanted everybody to be happy. So I didn't want anybody to disagree with me. So I was like, I'm going to love and hate it at the same time. But it's like, you can't do that. Like, you have to figure out you have to figure out if you dislike something about it, being able to critique it while also loving it. And like, there's a difference between just flat out hating on something, being like, okay, I can see where this thing has like some faults and some issues. But I've noticed it a lot where I used to be really nervous about making a video where I criticize any sort of like fan service or anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm a lady, and a lot of times like the response you get for that is, well, it's just because you're a girl and you just overreact and are super sensitive to that kind of stuff. It's not a big deal. And I've gotten that response the first few times. I was like, oh, maybe I am.
Or, that's just part of anime, so deal with it.
Yeah, that's just part of anime, just deal with it.
That response a lot.
And I actually love fan service. I think fan service is amazing. But I also think that, like, other shows do it better than some shows.
Sometimes it suits the show, and sometimes it's obviously there so that people will be like, have you seen this anime? There's a butt in it.
There's the booty, there's the boobies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's boobies
Oh
in
my
it.
God.
And, like, I don't think there's
Tiny shot in
anything
5 seconds.
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with people enjoying it, but I, like, bring it up sometimes in reviews, and, like, I've kind of been able to take my audience and be like, hey, this is how I'm going to approach stuff, and, like, these are going to be kind of how my opinions go, and I've had an incredibly respectful and receptive audience in terms of that, which is just really great to have on YouTube and just have on the internet in general. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
Can I ask one more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're when you end up talking, communicating with other people who are part of like the, I think it's called YouTube anime community or whatever. Like, how you guys go about that? Like, is it like a really easy process to go about it? And like, do people like? I guess my question would be like, are people generally nice or whatever, or like, is it a bunch of like, where you scroll down to some videos in the comment section and it's like, oh man, everybody's kind of terrible.
I would venture to say that the vast majority of the community is very approachable. Like let's say if you guys are familiar with the people that used to be or are still a part of Podtaku, they will respond to Twitter messages. Mm-hmm. It's just knowing which method to approach these people. Like for example, if you're on Twitter, any reviewer is more likely than not going to respond and going to want to interact and want to hear your feedback, want to hear what you like, what you don't like, so they can get better as reviewers.
Yeah. And they're incredibly approachable. I used to be very intimidated when I first got into it because I didn't know anybody at all. I was like, I don't know anybody in the anime community. I'm just this little gal coming in. But I was able to kind of, especially with MangaPod, like, bringing guests on and stuff, getting to meet new people, and I realized I'm like, they are just as big of weebs as I am, and it's made it really easy, and they're so nice and so approachable, and I've gotten to know a lot of people in the anime community and gotten to be pretty good friends with them, which is just awesome. And Twitter and Skype tend to be the main places that I interact with them, but they also, like, we go and post on like each other's YouTube videos and are really supportive of like one another too, which is really cool. Everybody's really nice.
I've met like everybody in the anime community through MangaPod, and they've all been lovely. So
yeah, they're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. Well, I only have 2 questions. The first one, well, I probably don't know, but the thing I wanted to ask was because I'm a fan of the series that you kind of ranked the lowest, so you should probably know what that series is. Yes, Gantz.
Oh
but
no!
Well, I was gonna say some of us here, we know Yoko Karama personally and all that stuff, but he can't here to probably give you more feedback of the series. But I was curious on what was the whole thing that kind of got you off of the series of Gantz? That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Because you said it was kind of rapey, this and that, so I was trying to figure out what are you implying to.
Yeah, so of what we read, and this is another one where everyone has said, if you got further into it, I think you'd really dig it,
Because I think we read 28 to 35 chapters. It's in there.
Somewhere
It's
in
in
there.
there.
It felt like they hit a lot of really heavy subjects and sort of threw them away very quickly. So like it felt like we had this girl who just dropped into this world totally naked. She like gets raped or is almost raped. I'm trying to remember.
Almost raped.
Yeah.
I don't want to say she was.
And they're just like, oh, glad that's over, and just kind of like move on. Like there were a lot of moments where we felt like there was something that could be delved into a lot more, and it didn't happen. And maybe like that.
Well, I was going to ask, for example, what did I know?
We read it so long ago.
I can't remember who's the main, Riku? There's the main girl's name. There is one scene with her and the main character where they go back, I don't want to spoil anything, where they go to her house, and she goes to take a shower, and he's like, oh, I should go in there with her. or something like. Do you remember that?
I don't remember
There's
anything
a
about
moment where
Gantz.
he's
I
he's
blocked
having
it all
this
out.
internal conflict where he's trying to figure out whether he should rape her or not, like whether he should go on and stuff. And so it was just.
Well, I was gonna say that really didn't happen in the manga, but I know what you're trying to say. But
Yeah, like we must have just interpreted it differently because it was something that we felt very
All three of us
It
just
was
felt like
really
there was.
off-putting.
like what made me really bummed is because I loved the world that it was in, and I really loved the art and the gore in it. The gore in it is so
I was really
I think I was putting you off.
gore.
No,
It is
no.
a-
No,
it is a
Just to
hyper,
give you like frame of
because
reference,
no,
we
'cause
love
the
Berserk.
creator, he puts
So
more of a frame of. It's like putting a frame of ourselves, and that's why it feels like in the later on in the series, it feels more like in a thing in a Twilight episode because in a certain instance in the story, it makes you feel like I guess humans start to become more like the cattle, where the aliens become more like the the people instead trying to feed off of
Right.
them. Like the
Right.
whole
Which
human
I
concept.
love, I love that kind of story, but there was just so much, specifically in terms of how the female characters were treated, that just didn't make me want to read more. And there was also a lot of heavier subjects like suicide and murder. And,
Well, yeah, it holds no punches.
disownment,
That's one
which
thing you gotta say
I
about
have no
seeing the
issues with
series.
manga talking about, but it was just they didn't get delved into quite as.
Like it was a very
Nicely,
superficial approach to it. Like it's something that maybe over the course of the manga, they'll touch more into it, but we haven't read that
Yeah, we
far.
just
So
haven't
our,
read
our
that's,
opinion
that,
is
that's the whole thing I was wondering because I'm a big fan of Berserk, and it's like
Berserk,
you
I
put
love
those in
Berserk.
between, and they're almost basically could be the same thing.
Yeah. We'll have to read more of it. Yeah.
maybe we'll read more
we'll read
sometime.
it. Yeah.
Well, and
Berserk is awesome.
my other second question was, what other seinen series have you read besides those?
We read Berserk, Uzumaki.
Oh, Uzumaki's so good.
We read Monster.
Oyasumi Pon.
Oyasumi
Pon
Pon Pon. And we loved all of those. Oyasumi
Oh
Pon
yeah,
Pon.
he's a fan of that.
There was a Poon Poon cosplayer out there, and I was like,
Yes!
yes,
Yes!
this is awesome.
wanna
Not like Baby Bird Poon Poon, but I don't want to ruin
Unless-
anything.
unless-
I feel like there was
Later.
another one. There was another heavy one that we read. Seinen.
Seinen?
Was Kingdom a Seinen?
Yeah,
No.
Kingdom is
Was
the
it?
same.
Yeah, Kingdom's good, too.
Vinland. We read
Yeah,
Vinland
Kingdom
Saga.
right, too.
And Vinland Saga, which are I think we've read a few
Yeah,
more
Vinland
than
Saga is
that.
a good one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one I would recommend for you guys to should read. Very philosophical. The art is really well and good. Is read Vagabond.
We have that on the
It's on
schedule.
the
That's-
schedule.
It's on the schedule,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we've heard nothing but good things about that one, for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you wearing the shirt? God.
Nice shirt.
So I was just wondering if there was a manga that all of y'all were like, wow, we should really read this, and then read it and went, we can't put this on the internet.
I don't think that we've ever shied away.
Maybe
We did
Kiss
Kiss Exist.
Yeah, we did Kiss Exist.
That's
So,
probably
like,
the closest.
I don't think we've shied away from really it.
And
Anything?
if anything, it's opened up doors to read more similar stuff like that.
To
But,
put things in perspective, we have hardcore Yaoi and Yuri on the schedule.
That's true. We're so excited. We were
with
like,
plot,
it's time.
they have plot in them. It's
They do.
not just straight. But we made sure we were like, okay, it can't just be porn.
It can't
Yeah,
just be
that's-
literally porn.
we can talk
There has
about
to be a story to
But we're
discuss.
I
pretty
pushed for it, but they
open.
wouldn't let it happen.
We're pretty open to in terms of what we read because manga, just like anime, is so diverse and there's so many different genres and we don't want to say we're not reading something because we want to be very open-minded with our approach to it. We want to be willing to, and because one of the reasons that we are doing it is also to find manga that we haven't read and fall in love with them or find out why other people love them.
And all of the hosts are adults. So I know. So we kind of figured that as long as we give a good warning of this one has all this sort of stuff in it, so maybe avoid it if you're younger or if you're sensitive to that. We try to make sure that we say stuff like that. But I don't think that we've ever shied away from something because it was too violent or too porny.
I mean, Kiss Exist we did do because of April Fool's.
Oh, that's
and then
right. And it was one of the best manga pods.
We did it, and we were talking about it, and obviously making stuff. It's very easy to make fun of a lot of parts in that manga. And then we also had really deep discussions about whether incest should be allowed in society and why it's taboo. And so it got real deep, and people were like, I did not come into this manga pod expecting a philosophical discussion. We're like, we weren't either.
What is wrong with incest? Exactly.
They're two consenting adults. You should go and watch the manga pod. It was a pretty good manga pod. But yeah, so like, what was the original question?
Whether or not we've read a manga and said nope.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. There wasn't. Like, we tend to take the recommendations from people on our subreddit. We have a subreddit. People tell us, like, hey, you should read this one. And we'll go through and take suggestions from there. And also, if we've heard something that we've wanted to, like, think of reading, like, we'll put it on there. So it's always a very diverse. And we all have, like, Dodger and I have pretty similar tastes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we all have very varied tastes. And so we get a little bit of everything. And so we tried to read, like, shonen and shoujo and yuri and yaoi and like mature manga, bloody, deep, funny. Like we have
Absolutely.
Purest form of purest.
So yeah, we tend to not shy away from reading anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello.
What does your shirt say?
Keep calm and dance sport on. Yes.
Excellent.
I just wanted to say thank you for doing like all of your content and everything. Like I do have a question, but just thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, like I probably could ask like anyone here and they'd give me a million different like solutions, but I find it really difficult to like keep up with like new manga and like other like things to keep up with. Do you have any suggestions?
Oh, newer manga. What kind of stuff do you enjoy?
I've honestly not really read much recent manga in a while, and I just like kind of want to have something to do while I'm waiting for stuff to do at work.
If you like one manga that I've been hardcore into recently, I discovered it Halloween of last year. It's called Apocalypse no Toride, or Fortress of the Apocalypse. Yeah, it's really good. If you like zombies and incredibly creative takes on zombies that are creepy and horrifying but really fascinating, it's a really good one. It's about kids who a zombie apocalypse breaks out and there's in a juvenile detention center, and so they're in a prison, which is like the safest place you can apparently be, and it just evolves from what you think is just going to be a standard zombie apocalypse. So there's an infection into, wait, there's creatures that control the zombies and like all of these really creepy other kinds of zombie stuff. And the art is awesome, and the way that the mangaka kind of draws the panels and does the pacing of the panels is also really fascinating, and has some good characters too. So that's, if you like gore and creepy zombiness, that's one you should check out. That's one I love.
Things I would recommend. I'll give you a rundown of some of my favorite manga. Oyasumi Pum Pum is
so good.
by far the
Yes.
best coming-of-age story I have ever read. 20th Century Boys is also a fantastic manga by the same mangaka that did Monster. There's a lot out there, so don't feel pressured to keep up with ongoing manga. Like one manga that's ongoing that we read recently, Boku no Hero Academia, we had a problem finding an adequate stopping point because it's ongoing, as opposed to manga that's already been established, where we can say, okay, this is a good point to stop. We can read at our own pace because we know from the people that have made suggestions where to stop, how much to read, at what pace we should go. So, like I said, don't feel pressured to keep up with ongoing manga. There's a lot of manga out there that are incredible reads that just take the time and look, and you'll see them. You'll find it.
Yeah, so the manga that I always tell everybody that they have to read is Vinland Saga. It's my favorite manga of all time.
Fantastic.
And I found that by going onto a Scanlation site and hitting random. So like sometimes literally all you have to do is go on there and be like, I'm just gonna try something new, and maybe it'll be awful, but maybe it'll be like your favorite manga.
Yeah. I also suggest One Punch Man.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a really good
Yes.
ongoing one that has an anime coming out in fall. So if you like comedic shonen, like superheroes, that one's awesome. So
One Punch
that
Man
one,
is
and
amazing.
then Horimiya is a
Seriously,
shoujo that's coming out right
Seriously,
now. That's
read
really good.
Vinland Saga. It's
Vinland Saga.
amazing. I blind bought the 5 hardcovers that are out on Dodger's recommendation and just read straight through them.
Yes.
No
So
problem.
good.
So
It's awesome.
incredibly gory and amazing.
So many people.
Vikings!
So many people have come up to me and been like, I just bought this on your recommendation, so I hope it's good. And I'm like, oh no. I hope you like it.
There's not been one person that has been disappointed.
Yeah.
So,
Not that I know of. So, fingers crossed.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Shutoku!
How sad are you about the ending of Kuroko? And
Don't even bring it up. It still hurts. Still hurts. It's just as like painful as when the manga ended real quickly. The manga Kuroko no Basket, for those of you who do not know, is my favorite manga of all time. And it recently had an anime, and the anime just ended. And the manga, like a week before the last chapter came out, they went, yo, next week's the last chapter. I was like, what? They haven't even finished the game yet. And so that was last year, I think, and I'm still like, I want more. Like, there's a sequel spin-off going on right now, which is great, but I'm like, I still want more OG Kuroko. So my heart's been a little
The
full,
like sequel
empty.
manga is sort of a weird goof
It's weird.
thing, right?
It's kind of like they were like, hey, we want you to make one more Kuroko thing before you make that golf manga you really want to make. And he's like, fine, I'll make it about street ball, and they're going to be against Americans, and the Americans are going to be all meanies. Named Nash Gold Jr. That's the main American's name is Nash Gold Jr., and he has like tats. He's a huge jerk. I'm like, what is happening?
Yep.
But it's really funny.
Nailed it.
Like, you still get the characters being awesome, but yeah, no, I am happy that the series ended. Instead of being dragged out, having every last bit of life sucked out of it. But it's like whenever you see your favorite anything come to an end, you're like, yeah, I'll miss you, but thank you for the memories. Yeah.
well, I still believe that they should have done at least their last year before they graduate and then end it. But
Yes.
I tweeted you about the Kuroko no Basket gathering,
Yes.
and I was wondering if you guys have time next year, would you guys like go to like a little bit more gatherings or no?
Would we go to the cosplay gatherings?
Yeah.
I would love to go. So next year at this time, I will have a baby. And I am fully planning on... Thank you. She'll be, I think, 7 or 8 months old, if I can math. That's probably the wrong math. But she'll be around that age. And I'm fully planning on forcing Dodger to make her a Kuroko jersey. And so I can sign her. I was like,
Yo, you need like
We're just gonna
Saren onesies or what?
So I would love to go and see those like gatherings of just all the Kuroko cosplay because I love it. Whenever I get to see it, I'm like, oh, it's the Kuroko thing. You understand the amazingness of it. So.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hi. What manga would you introduce manga/anime your children to?
Cheese Sweet Home.
Can I respond
Oh
to
my
this?
God,
Because
yes, cheese.
Cheese Sweet Home.
I actually have a 5-year-old
It's a
daughter.
daughter. Yeah.
And so far, she has seen almost every Studio Ghibli film. She's seen a lot of the Magical Girl series, like Precure. She loves Precure, Tokyo Mew Mew. So basically, what would be considered the target audience in Japan, just the English dubbed version of it, because she can't keep up with the subtitles. She can read very well, but it's just at that pace she can't keep up.
Yeah, I'm probably like, like I said, I'm gonna have a baby. I'm not gonna know what to know with a baby, so I'll probably like while she's sleeping watch anime. So I have this part of me that's like, I hope your first word is Japanese, and my husband's gonna be like, what have you done to our child? But I do want to show her pretty early on, like all of my favorites eventually when she's older. But Cardcaptor Sakura, Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like all of those pretty early on. Like I will force her to watch them. Just watching them. But I do want. One of my favorite things is reading. While I used to babysit and stuff, I used to always read manga to the kids that I was babysitting instead of like children's books. So like I would read like good manga. It was clean. So I'll read like Kuroko no Basket to her probably and just be like, she won't be able to follow, but I'm like, this is what's happening on this page and make it a children's book as I'm reading it. But yeah, just all the standards pretty early on, and she'll get to watch Hunter x Hunter eventually, and she'll be like, oh my God, Kill was the best.
Yeah. Cheese Sweet Home.
Cheese Sweet Home
Love
is
that
so
one.
cute.
Huh?
Is that the bread one?
What?
Oh.
That's Yakitate Japan. Is that what you're thinking of?
Start with Y's.
No, I want, like, honestly, I just want my kids to watch OG Sailor Moon.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, OG.
oh my gosh, I loved
Dragon Ball
Sailor Moon so much. And maybe switch to Dragon Ball Kai because goodness, like, I don't need all the
Suddenly
screams.
they're
I don't
20
need
years
all of
old
it.
And they finished the series.
Yeah. You're welcome. But yeah, original Sailor Moon, not Sailor Moon Crystal. Because it's
A lot of negative feelings about the
oh gosh, original dub.
The dick dub. Dick dub.
It's gonna be so good. Darian. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I love your shirt.
Yeah. It's got guts on it.
It's much better than Gantz.
The character, not actual guts.
Actual guts.
Much
All
better.
over his
Much
shirt.
better than Gantz. We all agree on that. But okay. First off, you got to tell Yokorama to come back to the community because what has he been doing? Like,
Right?
I'm trying to Skype him right now.
Tell him.
He's
I know
been
him. I
on,
know him. Tell him Zoro fanboy. Tell him to come back. He'll understand.
Aw,
Tell
yeah.
him.
He's been
Tell him,
he was dealing with some family stuff the last few months, and so he had to take a little bit of a
I
break.
understand.
But
He's
he
been on the
misses
last
it.
two
so-
manga pods?
Yeah, he finally he came back for the last two.
He's
but
renamed
missed
himself
it.
to Yokurapika.
Yokurapika.
God, it's gone so well. The break really did some
But I
wonders
do
for
have a
him.
question. I'm part of the anime community. I'm not obviously as well known as you are, but I'm curious how you got to, get to a panel for yourself and to build up your audience and all that kind of stuff. Any advice or anything like that you can give to get a panel and actually get some anime discussions out there? Because a lot of these panels don't really have anime discussions. They're kind of like promotions and other things that aren't really stuff that anime fans really want. So I'm just
Yeah,
curious
I actually know your channel.
I do?
Zero
I've heard of
fanboy,
you too.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Thank you. That's nice of you to say.
It's been a lot of like getting like a lot of friends. Like Dodger's definitely been a huge support and a huge help building my channel, and also just being there for me. And I'm like, am I doing okay? Like, yeah. And just getting to know people and like being willing to connect with people and reach out and be like, hey, I really like your stuff. It's awesome. Can you give me any advice? And I think consistency is a big one as well. It's just finding out what you love to do and finding your voice for it. And
Just be passionate
just being
more than
passionate
anything.
about it. Yeah. It's the big one.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
All right, and one last thing.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of Kuroko. Well, we all love Kuroko, right? But can you?
You're trying to cast aside Kuroko.
Yeah, was that
I know you like
crush
Kuroko.
on-
I wasn't
because
trying
you're
to.
done with the
I'm
mic
just,
now,
I'm just,
sir.
I'm just curious. Can you explain to me why it's better than Slam Dunk? Because I can't see it.
I do not. Okay, let's make something clear.
I'm just asking.
I will never say that Kuroko is better than Slam Dunk.
Okay.
I haven't actually, I am huge into sports anime and manga, but I didn't discover my love for anime and sports manga until I read Kuroko, really. And then I was like, I do like sports anime and manga. And then now I just, eat up everything every season. But I have not gone back and read Slam Dunk yet. I've read Real, which is by the same mangaka, which is amazing. If you guys want a really good sports manga that's psychological and deals with disabilities incredibly tastefully and really well, you should definitely check out Real. So I can't say Kuroko's definitely better than Slam Dunk because I haven't seen Slam Dunk or read Slam Dunk. But I do think they're incredibly different from one another. Because Kuroko is Dragon Ball Z with basketball.
It is, yeah. That's literally what I was going to say.
The people who are like, Kuroko is not realistic. I'm like, no crud. It doesn't try, obviously. But I think that they're both I've heard incredible things about Slam Dunk, and I'm sure once I do get a chance to sit down and consume it, I will consume it hard. But I just love, Kuroko just found a place into my heart, and I just absolutely love it. So I need to check out Slam Dunk first.
We haven't seen you always do a manga pod about it.
I know.
We've talked about it before. We did Real instead, just to upset literally everyone.
It'll get on the schedule. I'll make sure of it.
We actually did March Madness MangaPod month, which was we just read 5 weeks of sports manga. That's right.
And no slam dunk.
And you didn't do slam dunk?
I
Those
petitioned for
Kuroko,
it. I petitioned
Real,
for it.
Tepu,
Night in the
Night in the Area, and Cross Game.
Tepu. Yeah,
You
so
did deal those, so that's good.
Yeah, I definitely need to check it out though. But yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
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 What's your recent favorite anime and why is it Food Wars?
It is Food Wars.
You get me.
You understand. Done. I think we answered that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no answer necessary.
I actually really do. It's a type, like, I love Food Wars for being the mindless fun, and then my other reason is Ore Monogatari for just being
it's the same for me.
oh my god, it's so cute, the kind of week, so.
Yeah.
So innocent.
Food Wars, like, what I love about Food Wars is that you start watching it and you're like, what is this? And by the end of the first episode, you're like, I'm intrigued. And then you just like, with every episode, you're like, okay, there's been like less and less of the clothes popping off and like big montages like that, and I miss them deep in my heart every time there's a long expanse without them.
There's still plenty of him coming in as a naked angel.
I mean, yeah, there's like,
everybody.
you still get plenty, I'm just saying. But yeah, it's an anime where you explain it to somebody and they're like, that doesn't sound like something I want in my life at all. And so I've realized you just have to go to people and say, yeah, Food Wars, it's about food.
Watch more than 3 episodes, please.
Yeah. Watch the first episode and get back to me.
See, the thing is, I'm still trying to catch up with the spring, and that's next on my list of series to start. I will watch it, I promise, and I will finish it. Most recent show that I finished that I really enjoyed, probably Yuri Kuma Arashi, because Yuri.
Oh, I did not check
I
that
have
out.
no
one that I
shame,
send to
Dodger.
people all the
How long
time.
have I known you?
I'm sorry.
It's just gay bears eating lesbians.
I need to check it out.
What can
Glenn
be
has
wrong
been-
with that?
My friend Glenn, who has a YouTube channel, Glenn Loves Anime, he's been like, why have you not watched this yet, Aaron? And he gets really angry.
It's literally called Lesbian Bear Storm. Like, how can you not watch this
In
show?
our defense, it's by the same person that did Utena, so
Yeah.
it's good.
You're welcome.
Got you. Grabbed you.
Awesome. I think we have time for one more question.
Oh, but there's only 2 people.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, you're not the last one, but make it good.
We have 3 minutes. So.
Okay, so I wasn't planning on playing off of that guy's question, but if you could be any food, what could you be?
Any food?
Any one food, what would you be?
Wait, can it be a meal, or is it just like an element of, like, if I were to say spaghetti, does that count, or would it have to be like the ground beef
Let's
that
go with the
eventually
whole
gets used
meal,
in
like a
spaghetti?
whole entree plate.
Okay.
Ground beef.
If you could describe yourself as an entree plate.
You're the. I'm gonna.
Foot long.
You are ground.
Perfect. Next.
Yep.
I don't think I can top that.
I know. I don't think I can.
Now you know how it feels. Every week. Every week.
I don't know.
Spaghetti. The ground beef that's gonna go in spaghetti.
Nothing on the side?
I would be curry katsu from Curry House.
Good choice. Very good choice.
Thank you. It's delicious.
Oh wait, yeah. Can I just be ramen?
Yes, you can. You
Not fancy ramen. I'm not deluding myself. I'm not fancy ramen. I'm
You
like the
can
ramen
be-
that you buy at the store.
You can be ramen as long as there's ground beef in you.
Yeah. There's,
So for the curry, what level of spice?
Mild.
Mild?
Actually, no.
Oh.
I would eat the mild. I'd be the extra hot.
Fair enough.
Of course.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Last one.
This is it.
Awesome.
And it's a repeat. You
You've
got
been up
it.
here before, so
yeah.
you got to make this count.
Okay.
Just do it.
It's back. What are you saying?
If people were to give you gifts, and especially games and anime and manga, and well, I love StarCraft. So if I were to give you more content or things, would you guys be able to read and explain more about it, or would you guys not be able to? And if you were a character in Game of Thrones?
Oh, God.
You're gonna hate me because I haven't started that yet.
I'm not caught up on
I fell
it,
asleep
so-
episode 1. I'm sorry. I was very drunk.
So I'm the only one.
Who would you
Only
be?
one who's caught up, Aaron.
Who would you be in Game of Thrones and why?
Just ever, or should I be like, I want to be this person because I know something hasn't happened to them yet?
Just whoever doesn't die.
I would want to be Daenerys, obviously. Be Khaleesi, Queen of Dragons. That's who I'd want to be. So what was the first question? Was if you had like a suggestion for something, would we be able to check it out?
Yes.
Possibly,
yeah. Like we're always open for MangaPod, especially. Like we're always open for suggestions about what to read because there's just manga everywhere. There's all sorts of mangas, and so we would love to read anything. So
Is there a specific
Just
place
hit us up
that
on
you
our
can do it?
suggestion thread on our reddit.com/r/mangapod.
So
add it to the suggestion thread, and if other people like it, it is their duty to
Upvote away.
Yeah, to upvote it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we are out of time. Thank you all so
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.